He was so cute. Tall, thin, blonde, handsome. No one had ever made the butterflies in my tummy more fluttery. It was as good as the thought of presents under the tree on Christmas morning. And when he spun me around the dance floor at the ballroom dance school in downtown San Jose, I felt dizzy with delight at the way his hands felt in mine, at the way his hands felt on my waist, and when they sometimes crept just a little bit lower. Accidentally, of course. He was much older and more experienced than me. I was just 14 years old, and I fell into his 17-year-old charms as easily as his strong arms dipped me low at the end of every waltz, cha-cha, and swing. We started to see each other outside of dance. He picked me up at school once, and I ditched school for the first time. We went to the beach, and I had my first grown-up kiss. We went to the movies once, and I don't even think we knew what movie was playing. He made me feel special and wanted and grown up. We talked about going all the way, but I was unsure and I was scared. I knew that Jesus did not want me to, and my parents would kill me. But I wanted him to like me so much, and I would do anything if it meant I could just be near him. So when I went over to dance one evening, and instead he met me outside and said to get in his car, of course, I did as I was told. When we arrived at his house and I found out that his parents were out of town, I got nervous and a bit bumbly. He noticed, and he said he knew just what I needed. I was handed a very large rum and coke and instructed to drink it. It tasted terrible, but I didn't want to seem childish or uncool, so I drank it as quickly as possible, just to get it over with. Rookie mistake. The alcohol hit hard and fast. My limbs became useless and my body became heavy and numb. The room felt slow and blurry. I looked around the room. There were 2 other boys here. When had they gotten here? I got up off the couch, and as I did, I caught a glimpse of my tiny, skinny ballet body in the large mirror in the room. I was naked. I was embarrassed, but my clothes were nowhere to be found. My purse was gone. Where is their phone? Who would I call anyway? My parents are going to kill me. How did I get here? I just want to be home in my big fluffy bed with my stuffed animals and my dolls. I saw them talking in the kitchen. He pointed at me and he said, "Look what I got." They began playing with my body. They kissed me. They touched my small breasts and other places. It was as if my body didn't even belong to me anymore. They started to talk about who would go first. One of the boys decided to leave. And as he went for the door, our eyes met, and I could see that he knew that this was wrong. And that's when I knew I should not be here. This is not the way this is supposed to be happening. I tried to push them away, but my rubber arms were useless, and I was easily overpowered. The other boy was talking to him, and I heard him say, "I don't think she wants this." And he left us there alone. I stood up, and I said, "Please, take me home." But he looked at me with angry and unapproving eyes. He said, "I am going to get off tonight." He grabbed me and shoved me to the couch. He pushed my legs up behind my head in an awkward and vulnerable position. He became very heavy on top of me. I couldn't breathe. I leaned my head to the right and I found air and I gasped, but my lungs were being crushed and I knew I just had to go limp and survive. It'll all be over soon. Breathe. It'll all be over soon. Breathe. It'll all be over soon. Breathe. It'll be over soon. It was over. I'm not sure how I got home that night. It's all a bit fuzzy. I remember my feet. I remember a car. And I remember my parents' faces. Boy, was I grounded. They were furious at me for being late, and they could smell the alcohol on my breath. I knew that Jesus and my parents would never approve of the horrible thing that I had just done. I knew that I could never tell them. I began to create stories in my own head about that night. It was my fault. I wanted it. I was ashamed. I was not the daughter that my parents wanted. We continued to be friends and dance partners. I even slept with him again, just to prove to myself that I was okay, and that maybe what happened was even love. But every time I saw his face, I relived that moment. And every time he touched me, it was like he touched a raw, open wound. A few months after my 15th birthday, I met my future husband. At 17 and pregnant, I became the good Christian wife and mother that my parents approved of. I created news stories now. These stories said that I was not affected. I was fine. I didn't need therapy. I didn't need to talk to anyone. It was best left in the past. I carried these stories with me through 20 years of a verbally and emotionally abusive marriage. The birth of 3 amazing children. Divorce. Many unhealthy relationships. A hateful relationship with my own body. And unhealthy views of sex and men, because I believed that my body was for the pleasure of men, not my own. I was sad, angry, confused, lonely, heartbroken, and fucking pissed off. I have a new story now, and this one is true. I was raped. I was affected. And now I can move forward. I forgive the scared, young, guilt-ridden girl that created those stories. I have always felt like a liar and a fraud. But now I know I am a survivor.